You can call the battery the beating heart of an electric bike. It powers the motor, and the motor powers you to move. When someone buys an e-bike, the main reason to do so is to get extra power to smoothen the ride without pedaling fully. So, the battery comes first when considering the specs. The greater the strength of the battery, the more powerful your e-bike is, and hence leads to more costs. Now, without wasting any more time, let's know some lesser-known facts about e-bike batteries. If you're not a professional e-bike user, or have got your hands on the e-bike for the very first time, or yet to buy one in the near future, you might be obscure about how many types of batteries there are. When we say battery, lithium-ion is the most used type in modern e-bikes. These batteries are known for their lightweight, long lifespan, and high energy density. Within this category, there are different variations, including lithium nickel manganese cobalt oxide and lithium iron phosphate. NMC batteries are popular due to their balanced performance, good energy density, and reasonable cost. And the iron phosphate batteries are a bit lower in energy density. A close relative to Li-ion batteries is the lithium polymer type, which uses a flexible polymer electrolyte instead of liquid. This makes them ultralight and compact. They are good for sleek e-bike designs. However, LiPo batteries can be delicate and create a high risk of overheating if mishandled. In contrast, lead-acid batteries are much older and were once common in e-bikes. While they are cheap and easy to recycle, they are heavier, less efficient, and don't last as long as newer battery types. Because of these downsides, lead-acid batteries are less popular today. Nickel metal hydride batteries were also a common choice in the past, but have largely been replaced by lithium-ion options. While NIMH batteries are durable and safe, they offer lower energy density and are sensitive to temperature changes. As a result, they have gradually fallen out of favor. Lastly, there are lithium titanium oxide batteries. These types of batteries offer exceptional longevity and fast charging. They are extremely stable and can endure many charge cycles without much capacity loss. However, LTO batteries are expensive, so they are typically found in specialized commercial e-bikes rather than everyday models. Well, now you know the types of batteries, but do you know how they work? You've probably wondered at least once how a stable object can produce energy and make your bikes run. Well, electric bike batteries are built from lots of small cells and grouped together to make a larger battery pack. Each of these cells produces a small amount of power, typically around 3.6 to 4.2 volts. By connecting enough cells, the battery can create enough power to run the e-bike. These cells are usually lithium-ion, which are the same kind used in many electronics because they're lightweight and efficient. Inside the battery, there's a component called the battery management system. This system is like the brain of the battery. It keeps track of each cell so that they get charge and discharge properly. The BMS also helps prevent the battery from overcharging or running too low, which prevents the battery from decaying more like a battery of iPhone and lasting longer. In some e-bikes, you'll find a cool feature called regenerative braking. When you brake or coast downhill, the motor briefly works in reverse and sends a bit of power back into the battery. This won't fully recharge the battery, but it can add a small amount of extra energy. Enough of those technical terms. Now, let's turn our attention to the most concerning part of a battery, the health. It's all about how well your e-bike's battery can hold a charge over time compared to when it was brand new. From an iPhone user to a regular e-bike commuter, everyone gets nightmares when they think about battery health. As you ride and recharge, the battery's ability to store energy naturally decreases. For example, a battery that used to hold 100% of its charge might only hold 80% after a few years. This is normal wear and tear, but keeping your battery in good shape can help it last longer and keep your e-bike running smoothly. Battery health also impacts its lifespan. Every time you charge and discharge it, the battery loses a tiny bit of capacity. However, by protecting it from extreme temperatures and avoiding overcharging, you can slow down this aging process. Another important reason to maintain battery health is the power consistency. A well-maintained battery powers the motor smoothly, which also gives you that reliable boost when you need it. But as the battery ages, the power output can become uneven or weaker. So, keeping your battery healthy isn't just about longevity, it's about making sure your e-bike stays fun and dependable. However, you can't stop the health from draining. So, let's not scratch the head. Rather see some facts that are directly or indirectly related to your battery. How often do you ride in cold weather? This kind of weather can gradually affect your battery's life. E-bike batteries barely stand a chance in cold temperatures, and riding in lower temperatures can temporarily reduce their range. Lithium-ion batteries cause increased internal resistance in the cold, which causes them to drain faster. If you're riding in winter, it's a good idea to keep the battery warm before a ride and store it indoors when it's not in use to help maintain its health. When it comes to charging habits, it's good news that the memory effect is no longer a concern with modern lithium-ion batteries. Unlike older nickel-cadmium batteries, which lose capacity if you don't fully charge them, lithium-ion batteries don't have this issue. However, constantly charging your battery to 100% or draining it to 0 can still cause strain over time. To keep your battery healthy, try to keep the charge level between 20 and 80%. You might be surprised to know that partial charging is actually healthier for the battery. While it's tempting to always top off the charge, studies suggest that charging your e-bike battery to about 80 to 90% is better for its lifespan. So, you don't need to stress about reaching a full charge every time. Some e-bikes come with regenerative braking, which gives the battery a bit of a boost when you hit the brakes. Just don't expect a huge difference. It only adds around 5 to 10% back to the charge. It's a nice touch for a little extra power, but it won't make a big impact on your overall range. Many modern e-bike batteries are smart, meaning they have a battery management system that monitors the battery's health. The BMS keeps track of the battery's temperature, charging speed, and current flow to prevent overheating and ensure safe operation. It helps maintain the battery's efficiency by cutting off power if something goes wrong, which in turn helps extend its lifespan. E-bike batteries can be recycled, but they're not always fit for reuse in new bikes because each one wears down differently. Recycling gets valuable stuff like lithium back, though the process can be tricky and pricey, especially as the demand for battery metals keeps rising. The good news? With more people riding e-bikes, there's a bigger push for better recycling options, which is a win for the environment. Heavier batteries don't always mean more range. The weight of a battery might reflect additional casing or protective layers rather than a larger capacity. So, just because a battery feels heavy doesn't mean it will give you a longer ride. Always check the watt-hour rating to determine the battery's true range potential, rather than relying on weight alone. Finally, charging speed plays a big role in battery health. While fast charging might be convenient when you're in a rush, it can damage the battery over time. Charging slowly might take longer, but it's much easier on the battery cells and helps extend their life in the long run. So, when possible, avoid using fast chargers for routine charging. In response to the rise in e-bike usage, there's a growing focus on improving battery recycling programs. Companies and governments are investing in sustainable solutions to recycle lithium-ion batteries more efficiently, helping to reduce the environmental impact of e-bike batteries over time. With these efforts, we can expect e-bike batteries to become more eco-friendly as their popularity continues to grow. So, there's a lot more to know about batteries, but what we've discussed so far is enough to keep your battery in good condition. Don't overthink about your health, just follow regular maintenance practices and ride with freedom.